So I look in the oven and I realize that the cheese is just one big sheet of melted cheese. Hi, welcome to another episode of Built for More. I'm Jessica and this is Rocco. And today we're going to talk about a Bible verse that I came across this week that really resonated with me. It's Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
So why did that verse resonate with you this week? I mean, that's a pretty, I don't want to say famous verse, but it's a pretty well-known verse, right? So what made it resonate with you this week?
Because there's just, between personal life, work, family, there's been a lot happening just all at once. And I found myself, even more than normal, which I do anyway, but really going to the Lord and asking Him to help me to get through. And whether that was a workout that I didn't feel like doing, something at work that I was working on or that just kind of came up and I didn't really know what direction to take, or which there were, personal things and stuff in my family that it is beyond my control, and He is absolutely in full control of everything. So I just found myself more this week than any other time going to Him a lot more frequently and asking to help me get through.
And how, when you do that, how do you know those moments when you feel compelled to go to Him? Like, what is there like a trigger for something that's a feeling you get, or is it like what is that? You said it's more this week. I understand things that have happened, but is there like something you feel that compels you to do that? Because I've always wondered that. Because I have my own feelings when I go to Him. So for certain things, but I'm curious what yours would be.
I mean, like on a day-to-day basis, it's every morning, gratitude, thanking Him for just waking up another day, just the breath that I have in my lungs, it's from Him. But then whenever there are times of, just not trouble, I mean, that's kind of a strong word, but when there are more things that pop up, that's whenever I know to go to Him, because I don't know which direction to go, and I don't know what the outcome is going to be, and I don't know, I can only see so far, and my knowledge is only so much. I mean, obviously very limited compared to His, but so whenever it does start to pile on for me more than what I can handle, that's whenever, He's the only one that I know to go to, that I always go to anyway. So yeah, it's not like it's one specific thing that triggers it. It's just when a lot of stuff starts coming down all at once, it's more of like asking, like, okay, help me to get through and to kind of look at this, keep it in its proper perspective. And
so it's almost like sorting through all the stuff that's right in front of you.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. See, I find myself more like, obviously I have gratitude every day and pray every day, but I find myself when it's moments of confusion for me. Like, it may not be a bunch of things. It's just like, I don't know the direction. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or you kind of like, you're moving, but am I moving in the right direction? Am I on the right path? That's typically when I do that. And I've always done that. It's just always, I've always stayed the course. So I felt like He's always kept me on the course I'm supposed to be on. There have been times where I've just shifted things quickly just because I felt compelled to do that. And no other reason than just because I prayed about it, and that's just what came to me. And people think, oh, that's stupid or that's crazy, but it just ended up working out in the end. That's totally when I find myself doing that, like in those moments of confusion. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. It does, because it says that His ways are higher than ours and His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. And so there are a lot of situations that, based on our logic, it may seem, whatever path we're thinking about going down, but He knows that is not going to end well, and that there is another road that we should, go down. And a lot of times it is kind of stepping out in faith and not, really not having, at least from our knowledge, having the ability to see where that would take us, which is trusting that He's in control. So
yeah, I do think sometimes He takes you through hard times to strengthen you, to prepare you. Like I heard a quote the other day. It says, sometimes God brings you to the deep end to get you to depend on Him. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like, it takes you to the deep end, just throws you in, so you depend on Him. Like, you don't know how to swim.
right.
And you just gotta depend that He'll get you out of it. And I feel like that's where I feel
correct. I mean, you look back on a lot of the stories in the Bible, and that's exactly what it talks about. You know, it's all about the obedience, and when he says to go, to just go, and not having the full outcome, you know, the whole plan laid out for you, but just trusting that he has it, and trusting him for every step of the way.
Yeah. I'm hoping the volume is good. I'm realizing.
So we're down here now on a trail here in Pittsburgh, just walking, trying to get some exercise on a Sunday afternoon, and you just saw us on our way to dinner in the car talking about Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I know, Rocco, you have a few examples of that. Give me an example of something in your life when, you know, you did something and it really, the Lord was prompting you either to do it, and that's the only way that they gave you like the incentive to step out.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like most of my life I've always just believed that God had a plan for me, and I just kind of always followed my instincts. But when I left corporate America, right, I was in a job that paid, very well, to leave and go start a solo law firm, which it's not solo anymore, but it was like, that was the biggest leap of faith of my life, having kids, young kids, one going to college soon, a family to support. It was definitely one of those things where you just have to move forward. And I always believed I've always had an unwavering faith where, God was going to put me where I'm supposed to be. So I just felt compelled to do it, and I did it. And here we are. It'll be 7 years this July 1st in a few days that I've had the firm, and most firms don't last that long. So I think just having that unwavering faith and being okay to step without knowing the full path. Like I always say, take the first step. And I just did. I just trusted that God would get me there. And that's probably the biggest example of my adult life, I would say. What about you?
I mean, I'm kind of thinking back, this goes back years, but whenever I did that one and only figure show, I mean, that was a huge leap of faith, because I had just less than a year earlier had my second child, and I was not even remotely in shape. I gained more weight with her than I did with my first. But I committed to the show. I mean, there were a couple things surrounding that. A friend was actually filming it,
Okay.
put onto an actual local TV show.
Yeah.
So once I committed, there was no backing out. And it was kind of like following,
Yeah.
a few of us through that process. But that was a huge leap of faith. And I remember like 3 weeks out, and I kept thinking, like, there's no way I can get up on stage. I mean, there's pictures somewhere. I'm sure they're buried and stay buried. But no, I mean, I knew back then. That was in 2000, I think 2007. I mean, really just take the first step. It's kind of like what you've talked about in the past.
Yeah.
Just take that first step and believe.
And you have to. And like when I work with people, like coach them, a lot of it is that, they want to do something, they don't have the identity of the person that can do that yet. And so take faith, right? So, if you want to make faith a part of life, you have to become a faith-driven person or a faith-aligned person. Some people will say, I go to church, right? But that doesn't mean you have this identity of that. I think it's more, you have to really shift that identity. And that's anything, like anything you want to do in life. You can do the behavior, but behaviors can be stopped. But if you change your identity, like if you say, I'm a spiritual and faith-driven person, you're going to do things that type of person does. If you say, I'm a person that goes to church, you miss church 1 week, go the next, miss for 3 weeks, and it doesn't really have any consequences because it's not your identity. So I think that's an important thing for people to understand, that when it comes to faith or fitness or anything, any goal in life, you have to become the person that does those things, not just do the things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I mean, from the words of a pastor years ago, Christianity ain't church, and it really isn't, and again, today we were talking about that, about just kind of showing up and, the taking the interest and just wanting to learn. I mean, you don't have to have the tools necessarily, but it's all in the mindset. And once you determine that that's what you want to do.
Yeah, and that's really it. It really is, I'll end this segment with this. It's like,
as the plane flies overhead.
This is real life. But truly, like anything you want to do, you have to figure out the identity of the person. And that's a lot of what I do when I initially work with people from coaching. That's the first thing to do, is figure out, one, the identity they have, and two, what they want to do or become, and then figure out what the identity of that person is. and then help that shift happen. And that's a big part of, trying to get people to change. And I think that's an important piece to all of this, whether it's faith, whether it's fitness, whether it's business, whether it's, personal relationships, anything. I think that's where you have to change the identity first. So
what's coming up next? You're gonna show
we're gonna try and do
a recipe,
a healthy food recipe with. They're gonna do something with cottage cheese because that's the new rave on social media. So I'll come up with some shit. So we'll see what goes.
Okay.
So we'll see you on the next segment.
Now we're back. Rocco's gonna make a recipe that he found: cottage cheese breadsticks with a twist.
Well, we're gonna try something because we see all these cottage cheese recipes. So this one I think I saw on Facebook. So I think it was 1 cup of cottage cheese. I'm gonna do this. And a cup and a half of mozzarella cheese. Hopefully the sound will be good. We should have mics on, but whatever.
So what, you have it on 375?
Oh yeah, preheat
Preheating.
up in 375. And supposedly you're supposed to cup of cottage cheese, a cup and a half of mozzarella cheese. Way. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. This is 6 ounces of cheese. Make sure you have this recipe right. This is the problem, you gotta make sure you have the recipe right. I'm just saying, you do.
Well, you're good at improvising.
Yeah, but you just gotta make it right. So, save a lot of recipes on Facebook, so that's where I'm getting this from. There's a lot of good ones on here. So it says 1 cup of cottage cheese, okay. Let's improvise. Okay, we're just gonna use 1 cup of cheese. And supposedly we're supposed to do this. If you wanna zip that up.
Sure.
So then you're supposed to mix it up so it forms like a dough, I guess. This is going to be interesting. That's what it looks like, I guess, so far. Egg or something. I'm just going to follow the recipe. We'll see.
Okay.
I guess you form it like breadsticks. I don't know. So, yes, I washed my hands, so don't ask. I did. So now you take the dough, I guess, form it like breadsticks, and I'll show you what this looks like in a second. I'm really hoping they can hear. But we'll find out. So. This is going to be interesting. I have a feeling. Okay, so that's what we got so far. So this is what it looks like so far. I'm going to add a twist. Yes, I opened up with my teeth. Try. What? It's not the easiest thing to open. I'm gonna add some turkey pepperoni to these. Probably just 1 each. What do you think? Can we put it on top? What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we're just going to season it with some onion powder. Garlic powder. I feel like I'm on the Food Network. Parsley. You like parsley, right? Just don't make faces.
Well, I was thinking, was there any way you could make one of them just plain, but it's too late?
Yeah, it's too late. That's not a fun thing to do. Then we're going to do a little dash of salt. I don't like this salt, but That's the finished product. We're gonna stick it in the oven for, I think it's like 12 to 15 minutes. And then we'll come back and see what they look like.
So I looked through the oven and realized that it did not turn out the way he put it on the pan. It was just one big sheet of cheese.
Social media is a lie. Apparently I didn't read the comments of that video and it should have had like eggs or something else in it. So this is how it ended up. So I'm gonna try and do something with it. We'll see. I mean, it's like hard cheese.
Good thing he's creative in the kitchen and
Oh, it's kind of.
can salvage most anything.
So what you could do is make it like a pita, something we're gonna do. This is the problem when you're trying to follow social media recipes. They're not always legit. So I promise the next one will be legit. And maybe it'll come off this parchment paper will be good too. So anyways, hopefully this is at least a little bit of entertainment for you. And I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So
I think it's gonna taste good once he gets it off that parchment paper.
So what are we going to talk about? Well, so what are we going to talk about in the next episode? I don't know. Better recipes than this, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
So,
we'll do some more workouts and come up with another topic.
Yeah, and note to self, don't follow social media recipes unless you actually know they're legit, because this one is bullshit.
Yeah.
But it'll do. So
Be strong, take heart, you're built for more.
and if you haven't done so, subscribe, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and we'll see you on the next one.